Hello and welcome back, 22 Apps member, to the Start Here sequence. In this video, we're going to be talking all about how to actually test your app before we publish it to Apple and Android. So you can test your app anytime. You don't have to have like all the pages ready. You can test it whenever you want, really. And there's just a couple key things to make it nice and easy for you and make that happen easily. So basically, what you're going to want to do is when you're ready to test on any page at all, you're going to come up to the test screen right up here. And you're going to fill out your information for this. But even before that, and I'll show you how to fill out your information in a second, you need to make sure that you've come over to General, and you need to make sure that you've picked a home screen for your app, and you need to make sure that you've uploaded a splash screen and a logo for your app. So this is a perfect time to talk about this, which I delayed in another recording. Basically, for your 22 Apps app, there's two things that are really important. And of course, I mentioned make sure you pick your home screen. That's the third thing, I guess. The first thing I'll say is your logo. So your logo is going to be your app icon, and you can make your app icon whatever you want. And it generally should be very clear, very simplistic, very minimalistic. It's usually just a logo. There's usually no text. You can have some text if you want, but you don't want it to be all text, all right? Because this is going to be a small little icon on people's phones. It's going to be a little icon that they're going to be able to tap, and they're not going to be reading it at all. So just know that it's important to have something that that is really clear that is your app. All right, and all you have to do to upload your app icon is you just come over here to upload, and you can either drag on your app icon or you can click here to actually upload the file. So I'm going to click here to upload the file. I'm going to come over to 22 Apps, Media Kit, and I'm going to upload my 22 app logo, which is this. If it's not cropped, like if, let's say you have this logo file as an example, you can actually crop using our 22 Apps cropping tool the exact kind of logo that you want. So I'm actually going to use, rather than using this whole logo, I'm just going to crop it to exactly the right one that I want, and I'm going to click save. Boom. So now I have my 22 Apps logo that's going to be for my app. If I wanted, I could use some kind of software like Canva. I know Canva is a great tool, canva.com, for editing that logo or that icon even more so. Though the next piece that you're going to need is what's called your splash screen. And your splash screen is essentially this, it can be any image technically, but it's usually some kind of vertical image that displays when an app is opening. So as an example, if I open this app right here, it'll show this little icon, that little kind of triangular icon, just for a brief second, and that's what's called a splash screen. It's technically an image file that shows while an app is loading. So what I suggest you do is I would suggest uploading something that you can use as your splash screen, and then it will allow you to crop it. This is not really good when it comes to cropping. So what I might do instead is if I come over into my images, I might come over to Dropbox, and I might grab this, this image here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy it. I'm going to bring it over onto the desktop. I'm going to paste it. And then I'm going to resize it using a tool called Paint, Microsoft Paint. So I'm just going to go ahead and zoom out a little bit, and I'm just going to resize it so it's generally like, it generally looks like a more like a phone screen and less like an icon. And about there is fine. It doesn't need to be perfect because we're going to crop it in a second. I'm going to click save. And then I'm going to come back over into where we can upload the splash screen. So it's going to let me search for it. I'm going to click on the desktop. I'm going to click on this. And this is where it'll let me crop it to my heart's content. So I'm just going to put it nice, maybe a little bit bigger, right in the middle. If I want to, I can change the background color. I like it as white, but you can change the background color if you want. That looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and click save. So now it's got this white kind of splash screen right there, nice and simple, nice and easy. As well, I'll put links below this particular training to some other areas if you need help like creating your splash screen, but we'll name our app, we'll call it the Awesome 22 Apps Test App. And we'll click done. So once you've done that, come over back again to any screen. Let's just come into something you can see and make sure it's saved, or if you haven't already saved your work and you're working on it. And when you go ahead and click publish for the first time, it's going to ask you for something called your Expo account. And this is something that you're going to create on your phone when you set this up for the first time. So if you need help or you're not really sure about it, you can click this little help article, and there'll actually be an article here that we're going to be adding on how to test your app and make sure everything is nice and easy. But I'm gonna show you now in this video. If you click help down in the bottom left though, it'll give you some instructions on exactly what the heck we're doing. So it says install the Expo client, open the Expo client, whatever. I'm just going to show you. So let me go ahead and I will stop sharing here and I will start sharing on my phone. Let me go ahead and do that. And with a little bit of movie magic, you should now see my phone appear on the screen. So this is my phone. I like to have this little phrasing on my phone, live at cause today. I think it's important to live the life, you know, as you truly desire. And to go into it, basically, whether you're on Apple or Android, it's the same thing. You go to the Apple App Store or go to the Android Google Play Store. So I'll just type the App Store, and you're going to search for something in the search tab down in the bottom right called Expo Go. You can also just type Expo. Like if you just type Expo, it'll still come up as the top one. And it looks something like this. It's through a company called NameTag. It says Expo Go, and you're just going to download and install that app. I've already downloaded it, so I'm just going to go ahead and click open. Now, when you come in and sign in for the very, very first time, I'm just going to sign out. It'll look something like this. All right, let me just refresh the app. It'll look something to the extent of, oh, there's nothing really to do here. Like you click between projects, you click diagnostics, you click profile. It doesn't seem like there's much to do. So of course, that's why we're gonna sign up for Expo. And so we're gonna click continue to sign up for Expo. And we're gonna use the exact same email address and everything that we used from our 22 apps account. So in this case, it's test at 22apps.com. My username will be test22, I guess. I don't know. Test22. And then I'm going to, sure, we'll use a strong password. And then you don't need to check the last box. That's if you want a premium kind of plan. You don't need it. So you're just going to go ahead and click sign up. Test22 already exists. Test22 apps then. Submit. And then it's going to ask for like this survey. You can just click skip. And boom, we have made our testing profile. Now, what you're going to go ahead and do is you're going to go ahead and come back here. And I'm going to do some movie editing magic, and I'll see you right back in the builder. All right, so once you've gone ahead and created your Expo account, all you have to do is you're going to come in here and you're going to type the login info that you used to create your Expo account right in here. So all you're going to do is you go, I'm going to have test at 22apps.com. And then we are going to use the same password that we used earlier for that. So I'm just going to go ahead and click that. And then I'm going to go ahead and click build. Now, when you go ahead and click build, which I will click in a second, it'll basically start building that test app within Expo. If it fails, you probably entered the password incorrectly, most likely, or you didn't set your home screen, splash screen, or app icon. That'd be the main reason it'd fail. Make sure that you do that and make sure you enter your username and password correctly that you use for your Expo account, as well as it's possible that Expo might send you an email to verify some details. That's also a possibility, but just know that generally it should work the first time you submit it, of course. And so basically all you're going to do is you fill this in, and then it'll take about 2 to 3 minutes usually. It'll take a couple minutes for the file to actually render and upload to the Expo test servers. And Expo is basically, I didn't explain it, but Expo is basically a testing service where you can send off your data and test your app without needing to go through the Apple approval process right up front. We're going to submit our app to Apple and Android in the next bit, but this allows us to test the app throughout all of its iterations, which is really nice. So you can test it even if you have just the first page built, which is cool. So basically though, when you click build, if I click build, I can actually go ahead and close out of whatever I'm doing and actually continue to work on the app if I so choose, because it does take 2 or 3 minutes. The changes that you make during those 2 to 3 minutes are not going to be updated. It's going to update with whatever version you submitted when you clicked test. But just know that if you want to close this, come back, edit this, do updates as that 2 to 3 minutes happens, where it's compiling your app and making all that work, that's totally fine. That's fantastic. So I'm going to go ahead and click build, and I'll be right back. Hey, that was perfect. Nice jump cut with the video editing. Basically, the app is ready. The build went through, and now we can actually go ahead and I'll see you over on the phone now that it says, hey, that went through. So on the Expo app, the first time you create that account and sign in, it's going to look something kind of like this when you first log in. And don't worry about that. All you're going to do is go over to the right on your profile, and you'll see recent projects right there. And so all I have to do is I just go ahead and tap it, and it'll actually open up my testing app right there nice and easily. So you can see here, I can now go ahead and swipe between pages. I can test this out. I can open up the sub menu, and I can just visually play around with my app as I know that it's going to look when it releases on iPhone devices and Android devices very, very shortly. So that makes it really nice and easy to play around with your app and test it and make sure everything's working properly. You know, the text looks all aligned. Everything looks fantastic. And that way, the entire journey of you creating your app from start to finish, you're always very certain that your app looks its best. So I hope this has been valuable. I hope this has been good for you, and I look forward to seeing you testing your app, and I look forward to you publishing your app very, very soon. The one thing that I'll say is the next video should be on publishing, but you don't need to watch that until you're ready to publish. So if you're looking to get your app published, you don't need to actually watch the publishing video until you're like, okay, now's time to go live with this. Now's time to upload my app to the world. All right. So if it is time for that, I look forward to seeing you there. And with that said, have a fantastic success journey with 22 apps, and please share the updates in the Facebook group. I'd love to hear them.